Hello and welcome to this World of Tanks subscriber replay. My name is Maxwell and this recording comes to us from the user Thunderhawk93 and he's driving the AMX M4 1945, which is a French tier 7 heavy tank. Now anybody who says that the French tanks are glass cannons and have paper thin armour and are very destructible has clearly never used them like this one. So I just remember that this guy takes a hell of a lot of a massive beating and still manages to survive, just getting crashed into by a 3485 there. Obviously not ready for the new physics update and just running it at the back of the M4 there. I think I'm just going to call it the M4 from now on, because saying AMX M4 1945 every single time is going to wear a little thin. So we're just going to speed up until we get into the action, as Halluf is probably, without exception, the most boring map in World of Tanks. Even more so than Malinovka, I would say, in my opinion. So just playing an encounter battle, so at least this one forces people to interact a little bit more. So there's an immediate cap going down there from the American tier 6 medium tank, but unfortunately not able to get a shot on him, as those strategically placed rocks eliminate that ability. So just going to take the hill, probably going to try and push down the far left hand flank here and then circle around at him from behind the rocks, probably hoping that their artillery is going to be able to take them out. So laid a good bit of damage on that KV-1 there. They were lucky to take, well, not lucky, they were able to take the top of the hill before the enemy was able to get into position. Now the only thing about the M4 is it doesn't have an auto-loader gun, although its gun is pretty fast firing anyway and has a decent bit of damage and armor penetration for its tier, as you can see there, clocking just over 260 damage. So just trying to keep that KV-1 occupied and lay some damage down. Got a good hit on the 3485 there, because he's able to get a good shot on him without the KV-1 being able to return fire on him. So it looks like they've got somebody in the cap circle as well, just stopping that from getting up any higher, probably just taking cover behind the rocks there. As you can see, the guy's taken a good few hits, but he's only lost about 250 hit points, which is pretty good, considering he's getting shot by some decent tier tanks. Probably getting hit by that Panther and that SU, I think it was a 100 across the way there. This KV-1's not really achieving anything, but that's probably just because he's tier 5. And this guy is tier 7. So unfortunately not able to get any damage on that Panther there. And the cap is still stalled out at 33%. Just having a blind shot at that Panther, going to see if it can do some damage. Luckily that last hit there, I think, ricocheted, or just didn't do any damage, because he seems to have the same amount of hit points that he used to have. So unfortunately there, Kappa, who was evening out the exchange there, has been taken out. So that's going to start rising again. So they're going to have to either get somebody else into that circle behind the rocks and survive to stall that, or they're going to have to try and take out that medium tank. So this guy just doing a great job at staying right at the edge of the hill and making everybody else think twice about making a move on the hill. As you can see, he's got two Panthers, KV-1 and that VK held up and not really wanting to push any further up, because it would probably mean the death of one of them, if not more. Especially now he's able to get a bit of damage on that VK. Now he's only got 2 or 3 more hits left in him before he gets taken out. So this gun seems to have a pretty good reload speed. And there you go, it takes another hit and magically able to just shrug that one off. Didn't do any damage. So still holding up a VK, a KV-1 and a Panther. 3 tanks all held up by this guy on the top of this hill. Takes another good hit there, but again 0 damage. Being smart about this as well, rather than taking out the KV-1, which is pretty much unable to do any damage to him, even though he's only 1 hit away from death, he's focusing on the VK, which has the bigger cannon and is able to do some damage to him. Fortunately the VK wasn't available as a target, just as I decided to point that out and gone for the KV instead. So there you go, able to take out the VK. I think the Panther, is the Panther still there lurking? Probably. And there we go, able to take out the KV-1 as well. So one guy in the AMX M4 1945 able to hold up everybody on this ridge, which was a Panther. There was another Panther here earlier, so two Panthers. Oh, there he is at the bottom. A KV-1 and a VK. I think that was a 3001. We'll just say it was a 3001. Able to hold all of those guys up for pretty much the entirety of the battle, well, at least 6 minutes of the battle. Oh, so unlucky not to be able to get the killing blow on that M7 Priest. Is he going to be able to reload in time? Yes, I think he is. And there we go. Able to take him out. So just got to drop back and hope that he doesn't take a hit from that Panther. Don't know why the Panther decided to stop there. Probably could have crested the hill, got a hit, and still managed to fall back. So still holding both of these Panthers up, and these Panthers can be a right terror when they get into your lines. So still stalling, one at the bottom of the hill, one at the top of the hill, still stalling them out and able to hold them both off. Ooh, he's poked out a bit too far, and there we go, managed to take him out. So just got one more Panther left who's trying to assault the hill. Unfortunately, I don't think he realises that the rest of his team has pretty much crumbled, and you've just got the guy in the cap circle who is the original capper and this Panther left, and that is it for the enemy team. So as soon as this Panther gets taken out, it's just going to be a case of rolling down the hill and taking out the capper, and our man knows it, which is why he just decided to charge the Panther at the end there. So if you see, managed to hold that hill pretty much all on his own, and only lost about half of his hit points. I'm going to get a good hit on the M4 medium tank there for his troubles. Is he going to be able to finish him off? Of course he is. So, absolutely brilliant clip there. Good solid hill defense from Thunderhawk 93 there. So thanks very much for sending that replay in. Remember guys, if you've got yourself a good replay where you have a particularly good game or pull off something amazing, then please send that in to replay@screenreality.com. That's replay@screenreality.com, and I'll do my best to get as many of those turned into videos as I can. So thanks very much for watching guys, and I will catch you next time.